Tony Khan teases more AEW debuts, plus multiple Raw stars are injured, and is an Attitude Era team making a return? It's all in the wrestling news right now. Are more AEW debuts imminent? Well, Tony Khan says very likely. He was chatting on DAZN, and he said, I'm more than aware that there's a number of free agents out there, wrestlers I admire too. But I've got to say, you just have to keep watching over the next few weeks. And not just winter is coming. There's Holiday Bash special from Greensboro, North Carolina. That includes the Christmas Day Rampage, which is going to be taped. So I've seen a few people message that, so when WWE does a Christmas Day Raw, people have a problem with it, but AEW doing a Rampage, it's fine. It's taped. It's fine. That's why that's okay. We have the last episode of TNT, says Tony, followed by the debut episode of TBS. There's Battle of the Belts coming in January. I want AEW to run shows that you just can't miss. And I think these next few weeks are going to be really exciting for fans of wrestling. But therefore, him saying, in amongst this, when talking about the wrestlers there, saying, I'm aware there's a number of free agents out there that I admire too, and to keep watching. This is quite a tease, I think.
This is with the Ring of Honor winding down at the moment. We got a lot of people from there that could potentially be going. We've got Kyle O'Reilly, we've got Johnny Gargano. Woo-wee! It's going to be an exciting time.
To be the better obscure company, is there not too many wrestlers now?
I think that's
in AEW.
I think that's the thing, and we need to. I guess what we need to remember is Tony Khan doesn't necessarily need to sign every single person that gets released, otherwise then stuff happens, people get lost in the shuffle, and that's always a huge concern. However, I think that if we utilize the right people in the right story, in the right storylines and things like that, AEW are fantastic at building long-term storytelling, and even if someone is in a program that's not quite as grand just yet for the time being, if they get signed, and they finally build them up and up and up and up, then we'll get to something that was, I think, worth the signing of that person. I know Malachi Black has been in a big thing with Cody and everything, but that's not necessarily been right at the top of everything. I think it's more been the Hangman and Kenny Omega stuff for a long time. And I think we'll eventually, obviously, see Malachi Black get to that position. I think for a lot of people that could work, but then I guess there's also the argument of, if you start doing that with too many people, then maybe it diminishes impact, or some people will literally get lost in the shuffle because there's so much going on in that kind of middle card part. I'm not entirely sure, but as someone who is very much just excited about the prospect of an Undisputed Era versus Elite story down the line, things like that. I guess that's my fanboy just taking over more than the logical thing of, okay, well, let's not let these people get lost in this huge roster. I mean, it's a huge roster as it is already. We don't even see some of these superstars on Dynamite or Rampage. They're very much still on Dark and Dark Elevation and things like that. So there's a worry there, but there's also just the tantalizing. My mouth is salivating at the ideas of some of the things that can happen. But yeah, I completely get what you mean. At the same time, it might not necessarily be the best way to do things just by bringing everybody in at once,
From a lot of stars to a few stars missing. So on Raw last night, we were set to have the finals of the RK Bronament, which for me, the highlight has been the little clip art picture of the snake on a scooter. That's lovely. We were going to see the Street Profits versus the Mysterios. However, it was announced by Sarah Schreiber that due to injuries for both teams, that match wouldn't happen. Now, they didn't go into detail as to who was injured and why and where and how, but we know that from the live show loop this weekend, Montez Ford was absent from the Super Show, and we had a rare one-on-one between Angelo Dawkins and AJ Styles on that show. The Mysterios weren't at the shows either. In fact, Mysterios haven't been on WWE TV or wrestled for WWE since last Monday's Raw when they faced the Alpha Academy. So it could be those combination of people that are injured, and it's just a case of they just want to put a pin in it until they're feeling better. I obviously hope everybody's all right.
Yeah.
I particularly worry about Montez Ford. Whenever he's not there, I miss him because he's a star.
He's such a star. Like everything that he does, like the. Was it? I think it was last Monday. And he just walks up to Omos and like takes his glove off and just like hoys Omos across the chest. Like it's even just little things like that just make Tez Ford like such a really charismatic and just exciting performer to watch. Just the little inflections and things that he does. I love him so much. But do you know what? I'm happy that they've put a pin in it rather than try to just like hoy other tag teams in there to kind of like fill the gap for a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I was worried they might do that and mess up the tournament a bit, but it's fine. You can park it and come back to it another day. Gable Steveson was on Raw last night as well. He was in the crowd holding up his gold medals and fist bumping Bobby Lashley. Before this appearance from Gable on Raw, he actually put out a statement regarding some sexual misconduct allegations. An investigation that took place into him, rather. Stevenson and his fellow University of Minnesota amateur wrestler Dylan Martinez, back in June of 2019, were arrested on suspicion of criminal sexual conduct. And this has come up quite a few times online when mentions of Gable Steveson are made, these allegations get brought up. So Gable Steveson reached out to Ringside News and gave them a statement. And it says, "One of the challenges for me personally, especially over the past several months and years, has been reading the criticisms and attacks on my character by people who don't know me personally and my values. No charges were ever brought by anyone, and the entire episode has been difficult for everyone involved. Going forward, people who don't know me will hopefully see that kindness, respect, and empathy are virtues that I take very seriously in my life." So that's the first time Gable Steveson has spoken out about the allegations following the investigation. Don't want to delve any deeper into that. I feel like it's more of a legal matter, but that's the statement that Gable has put out, and he was on Raw last night. Finally, we know about Scott Garland, who I apparently called Scott Harland in a news video the other week. I can only assume I was tired, or I just really like another guy called Scott Harland. Maybe. Scotty 2 Hotty has teased a tour of the planet in 2022. Now he's a free agent, but it doesn't look like he's doing it alone, Andrew.
It doesn't. It looks like he's getting his too cool buddy, Rikishi, back into the fold of things. He tweeted a picture. So this happened today, ready for 2022, and it's a picture of him and Rikishi together, which is very, very, very exciting. So yeah, obviously he's hitting the indie circuit, and Rikishi might be coming along with him for the ride, doing all the dances, put the shades on. Is he going to put the shades on Rikishi? I hope he puts the shades on Rikishi.
Oh, if he does. But I think Rikishi will be somewhat reluctant at first to put the shades on, and then he'll come round to the idea and he'll be fine. I love this. Do you know what the world needs in 2022 after an awful 18 months? A Too Cool reunion.
Absolutely.
On the indie scene. Get it in Europe. Get it in the US. Get it in Canada. Book it, Bowers. Book it for North Wrestling.
Oh my God. Please.
By the way, thank you for the send-off on Saturday. I love you dearly. But book Too Cool. With the money you're saving on me, book Too Cool. I'd love to see them just hitting the indies next year. I think that'd be really lovely. I know the Bushwhackers said they were going to hit the indies around this time.
Really?
Well. What a time for tag team wrestling on the independent.
Well, we got like the Midnight Express, right, going up against FTR, I think, in some match.
You're thinking was it not the Rock and Roll Express?
Oh, it was. Yes, sorry, it was. Yes, Rock and Roll Express. Yeah, and FTR. Like, what's happening? What's happening, Tom?
It's a tag team resurgence.
It
sir.
is. It is.
We are deep in the middle of a tag team resurgence, and I am very, very much here for it. If you missed it yesterday on the podcast feed, there's a brand new episode of the Cultaholic Classic Raw review now. It's Jack Kins, myself, and one of our wonderful Patreons who are supporting us. And as a thank you, they are a guest on the final Classic Raw review of 2021. We're heading towards Survivor Series 1995. We're deep into the new generation era of the WWF, and it's a ride.
It's certainly something. It's certainly something.
A ride. It is a ride. And if you subscribe to the podcast feed, you can check out the latest episode on there right now. Should we try and do a kiss, love you, bye?
Let's do it.
By the way, in case you're worried, because I know, yes, this is the isolation station, right? I'm aware of that. I want to just address the elephant in the Zoom again. I'm fine. I'm not self-isolating. I'm waiting for a delivery. So that's why I'm here. So just a heads up. That's why I've not got the thing. I'm fine. I took a lateral and I'm good. I took a literal and I'm better. But we'll try and do a Keys, love you, bye through the power of the internet.
I like it.
So here we go, Andrew. Keys.
Love you, bye.